Turn on captions. Well, I think it's safe to say that Alabama and Georgia are probably the top 2 teams in the nation after this weekend. I like Kentucky beat Florida. I thought that was pretty cool. I watched that game until the end. I like Kentucky. And nothing. Halloween Kills comes out next week. I'm going to go see it. And
I saw that. It looked scary.
What?
I saw the trailer for that. It looked scary.
Yeah. You can't beat Michael Myers at Halloween. The only thing that can beat Michael Myers is maybe Annabelle. Annabelle or the Conjuring movies. They're pretty bad. I love horror movies. All right. Here we go with the test. Let's see what the test looks like. Where is it? Let's go with assignment manager. And here is the test. Compute the linear correlation coefficient between the 2 variables, rounding 3 decimal places. Well, that's pretty simple. Take your handy dandy calculator. I'll let you punch those in while I punch them in. Go to Stat, Edit, and 34, 37, 41, 44, 47, 49, 53, 57, and 61. 112, 116, 119, 127, 138, 141, 144, 146, and 148. Are y'all typing these in or what? Y'all have your calculators or what? I was going to say, Miss Ferguson, I see an awful lot of ceiling and walls there. I don't see no forehead. Okay, I see a forehead. And Miss Bowen, don't show me too much forehead. I mean, I wouldn't want you to get in trouble. Foreheads and ceilings, foreheads and ceilings. Oh, all right, let's get a correlation coefficient. So, Stat, calculate, linear regression, and make sure it's on L1 and L2, and calculate. I got 0.960. And there is, now, how do you know a correlation exists? Well, you got to look at it. So let's look at it. Go to Stat, go to second, Stat plot. Go to On and Graph. And go to Zoom Stat. And yes, you can see there's a correlation. Now, if they were all over the place looking like this, then there would be no correlation. Or no relation, sorry, linear relation. And we could actually type that in. Let's see, what is our Stat? Calculate linear regression. And our formula is, our equation of our regression line is y is equal to 1.488x plus 62.412. And we could type that in. Y is equal to 1.488x plus 62.412, and you can see that there is a linear regression there. So A is your answer. Next. And if you have incomplete assignments, 0 decreases your grade. If the linear correlation between two variables is negative, what can be said about the slope? That means I want somebody to unmute your mic and communicate with the world.
Negative.
Negative. Good job. A lottery exists where balls numbered 1 to 22 are placed in an urn. To win, you must match the 5 balls in the correct what? In the correct what?
Order.
Order. So what does order mean? Somebody tell me what order means. It's either permutation or combination. Which one is it?
Permutation.
Permutation. Thank you. I know it's awful. I know you're having to go out on a limb. I appreciate it. How many possible outcomes are there? There's the outcome. So take your handy dandy calculator. And we're going to 22. Math. Probability. Permutation. And how many balls are there? 5. And there, 3,160,080. 3,160,080. Although covered in the handouts, what is the best way to communicate? Well, Teams really, but now cell phone. It doesn't matter. It's only one that makes sense. The table lists the drinking habits of groups of college students. If a student is chosen at random, find the probability of getting someone who is a man. What's that word right there?
Or.
Or. What does or mean?
One or the other.
Really? Which property does or associate with?
Addition.
Addition. The additive property. So you got to check for overlaps here. So I'm going to get out my handy dandy. Let's go with magenta, make sure it's translucent. And we'll make someone who is a man. I hate this mouse. A man, so a man would be right across there. Just hold on a minute. With this mouse, you have to hit the mouse like with a hammer to get it to work right. So let me just. Oh my God, really? There, and it covers up, so you ain't gonna be able to see anything. It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be translucent. Damn Russians. Now let me try it. There. All right, there's my man category. And let's take the yellow and do a woman category. And as you can see, this is not a jointed category, so they do not overlap. So there's no overlap to actually, I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Just hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to show this. I guess we'll just go here. All right, so we've got magenta or pink. And that's going to be 135 plus 42 plus 5. And we know that's 182. I know that. I can see it. And we're going to add the yellow, which is going to be 187 plus 21 plus 8. There's no overlap, so therefore we do not subtract an overlap. And that's important to write it out, even though you probably invented this method. But we're going to put a 0 there because we always subtract the overlap when we're using the additive law. And the total is 398. And of course, if you read your table correctly, you see that you've got 182 in the pink plus 216 in the yellow. And you're subtracting no overlap. So 216 is 398. Somebody check that can't be right. That can't be right. Well, I guess they're just a trick type question. They usually don't ask these. So we get 398 over 398, which is 1. Usually the questions I did yesterday and the day before, yesterday, we got different, we didn't get 1. So that's a surprise. So 1 is your answer. That's unique. I've never gotten 1 before. And if you read, it says a man or a woman. That would make sense since it's a man and women. But I wasn't really looking at the categories when we started the problem. So next, let me erase this. What happens when you don't do something? You get a 0. If you take several forms of a unit test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? Takes the highest grade and drops the lowest. Complete the sentence below. In a probability model, the sum of the probabilities of all outcomes must equal what number?
1.
1. If you look at your overall grade one day and it is decreased, that's because a 0 has been placed in a missing assignment. The table below shows probabilities generated by rolling one die 50 times and noting the up face, whatever. What is the probability of getting an odd up face, or, meaning what? What does or mean?
Addition.
Additive. Or 2 or less. Okay. So let me take my handy dandy highlighter.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
And we're going to make odd We'll make it magenta. So odd, wait a minute, yeah. Odd is going to be 1, 3, and what? 5. And then 2 or less is going to be here and here. So now we're ready to roll out everything. So we go to our handy dandy sheet here. And what is our pink? Well, 0.22 plus 0.18 plus 0.18. That's our odd. And then our yellow is 0.22 plus 0.10. And then our overlap is what? What's our overlap? 0.22, Hubert. That's right, class.
You have a work
And
email.
of course, we're going to divide by, let's see, we're going to divide by 6 because there's 6 sides. So 0.22, unless they just want us to add them, because they probably just want us to add them since they've already been calculated. So 0.22, so let's get our handy dandy calculator out. .22 plus 0.18 plus 0.18 equals whatever that number is, plus 0.22 plus 0.10 and then minus 0.22. I get 0.68. So since we've already got probabilities, we don't need the 6. Should be 0.68. Well, I'm trying to get there. Let me find the test again. There we go. 0.68 should be B. I'm sure everybody knew how to do that one. Will the following variables have positive correlation, negative correlation, or no correlation? Number of toddlers in the household and expenditure on diapers. Number of toddlers in the household and how much you spend on diapers. What do you think that's going to be?
Positive.
Positive. Good job. Interest rates on car loans and the number of cars sold. Well, if the interest rate goes up, how many cars are you going to sell? Not as many, Hubert. That's right. Size of TV living room and the amount of heating bill. Well, the size of the TV doesn't matter. The size of the living room matters, but not the TV. And that should be your answer. Here's your golf ball problem. A golf ball is selected at random from a golf bag. Remember, we went through marbles and golf balls. If the golf ball bags contain 6A, 5B, 4C, Find the probability that the golf ball is not type A. Complement. Not type A. So you got a golf bag, or you got a whatever, and you got 6 balls in there that's A type. You've got 5 balls in there that is B type, and you've got 4 balls that are C type. And they want to know the probability of picking a ball and it not being type A. So that means it's either going to be B or what? B or C, Hubert. That's right. So 6 plus 5 is 11. So 15 is our. Now you could do it 2 ways. You could do 6 out of 15, and then 1 minus 6 over 15. You could do that. Or you could do 5 plus 4 over 15. Whichever one you want to do, it really doesn't matter. So that'll be what? 3/5. 1 minus 3/5, which is 6. No, that's not right. 3 will go in there 2 times, 2/5. So that's 4/10. I got 0.6. Y'all check my math, please. Check it on the calculator. Give me a thumbs up if you got 0.4 and 0.6. Okay, thank you, Miss Landreth. You know you're not supposed to do that. I don't want you to get criticized. You're not supposed to communicate with me. What happened to Dickerson and Hamby? Where are they? All I see is ceilings. Yeah, thank you. Where's Mr. Hamby?
He went
Where's
to the
Miss
bathroom.
Bowen? Where'd y'all go? I still don't see Mr. Hamby. Where's Mr. Hamby?
He went to the bathroom.
Oh. All right, so I got 0.6. So that should be 0.6, and let's check it. Make sure we know what we're doing. Next. Why do I not reply to any emails at the end of the semester for extra credit? Because I hate you, that's why. Because I award extra points with questions like these on the test, and I drop your lowest 2 grades on each unit test. When does homework terminate? Toward the end of the unit. All right, look over this one and tell me what's what. Which one, I think we went over one of these the other day. Which one is not a probability distribution? Which one is not?
Negative 2 out of 3.
Negative 2/3, so D is not. And there's one more.
E.
E. Why?
Doesn't add up to 1.
Equals 7/8, doesn't it? I think it's 7/8. Let's see, 6 and 7, yeah. I think that'll be 7, I'm not sure. Let's see, 4 will go into 8 2 times. That's 2, 4, 6, and 7. So A, B, C, and F. A, B, C, and F. Maybe I should take some of these questions off because they're kind of easy. Which one is it? The only one with United States. I had 2 people in this class miss this one. That's pretty sad, people. Not only shows that you don't read, but you don't pay attention. All right, I'm gonna let y'all do this one. I'm gonna put it on the Excel spreadsheet for you so you can see the numbers. But do everything that you can for this one. They want the line of regression and all that stuff, and what does it look like, scatter plot and all that. And well, if it ever comes up, it might be like Facebook yesterday. Maybe they were putting some new censorship things on Facebook. Maybe that's why they were down so long. You can put whatever you want to on Facebook, as long as Facebook agrees with you. There you go. Punch those in. And do everything you can in relation to a scatter plot, a graph, and a correlation coefficient or a linear regression line. Show me a thumbs up whenever you get it typed in and you get a scatter plot and a linear regression line. Somebody give me a thumbs up whenever you get that. Once I get 3 or 4, I'm going to go ahead and move on. Anybody? Miss Poor, you look like you're doing your own blog. You look like you got your own radio station. I think you need to go on the air. I could have my own blog, but I'd get fired from Tri-County Tech if I had a blog. Or my own little, my own little, I don't know what you call it, cyber radio station or whatever you want to call it. Nobody's got an answer. Nobody has typed in these numbers. Okay, you got anything or not? God, it's like pulling a hen's teeth to get y'all to say something. Okay, well, don't cry when you don't know how to do it or you don't know. You won't talk to nobody, so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no crap. Well, I didn't know how to do that. Well, you should have said something. Sit there like a tit on a bull. All right, right click, add trend line, And there is your, that's all I'm going to ask for. Now somebody take the square root of that, please. I'll do it over here. 839 equals 0.839 raised to the 0.5 power. There's my correlation coefficient, 0.916. So I'm going to write this down because I got to type it in. So we got a negative correlation. Looks like this. I'm drawing so I can do somewhat of a, and y is equal to negative 0.6469x plus 6.7719, and the correlation coefficient is 0.915969. So go back to the handy dandy question, and it's not this one. It's not this one. Looks like C. And, well, no, I believe it looks like D. And then that one looks like that one. And there is a linear negative, round of 3 decimal places, negative 0.647 and 6.772. Pretty simple. Players in sports are said to have hot streaks and cold streaks. For example, a batter in baseball might be considered to be in a slump or cold streak if that player has made 10 out of 10 outs in 10 consecutive at-bats. Suppose that a hitter successfully reaches base 29% of the time he comes to the plate. Find the probability that the hitter makes 10 out of 10 consecutive at-bats, assuming at-bats are independent of each other, meaning that you can't go back and redo it. Okay, the hitter makes 71%, so that'd be 71 that out. So that'd be 0.71 to the 10th power. So 0.71 to the 10th power. Let me find that on my calculator. 0.71 to the 10th power. 0.03, what does it say round to? Round to 5 decimal places. 0.03255. 0.03255. Are cold streaks unusual? Probability of a cold streak, well, it looks like to me it's less than 0.05. Anything less than 0.05 is going to be unusual. Part A says this is 0.03. In repeated sets of 10 consecutive at-bats, the hitter is expected to make an out in all 10 at-bats about, well, that would be 33 times, because 32.5 goes up to 33. Discuss the assumption of independence in consecutive at-bats. Each at-bat is likely to be independent because the player's mental attitude of success is affected by previous bats. And I might have got this one wrong. Not likely. There we go. Okay. So you might want to write that one down because we didn't go over one like that in the homework. I didn't see one. And of course, y'all didn't send any questions. So you might want to write that one down. I'll give you a minute to write it down. All right, next. A bag of 100 tulip bulbs purchased from a nursery contains, okay, this is the golf ball problem. Golf ball, marble problem. We'll go ahead and do it. So you've got a bag. And the bag is a tulip bag, marble bag, whatever you want to call it, golf bag. And you have 30 red tulips. Red tulips, 25 yellow tulips. It's my favorite color. 25 yellow tulips. And 45 purple. Now, we'll probably have somebody say something about purple, but this is my purple. At least the tip or this is purple, okay? This is the only purple I've got. So I don't want anybody to say anything bad about my purple. And that's 45 purple. What is the probability that a randomly selected tulip is red? Well, how many we got? What's the total? Well, 30 and 45 is 75. And 75 and 25 is 100. So the probability of a red tulip is going to be what? What's the probability of a red tulip going to be?
0.3.
3 over, or 30 over 100, which is equal to 0.3. Good job. Maybe I should change these questions. 0.3. Well, of course, these are not the questions you're going to get. You may get some of them, but you're not going to get exactly looking like it. But what is the probability of a purple? Purple would be 45 over 100, which would be 0.45. So that's going to be 0.45. Select the correct choice below and fill in the answer. If a bulb, 100 bulbs, blah, 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 blah. Why am I not picking A? Somebody tell me why I'm not picking A. I haven't typed in a number. Why am I not picking A?
It says exactly.
The word exactly.
And what's wrong with exactly? What's wrong with the word exactly in probability and statistics. It's like impossible, perfect. What's wrong with it? It's just a word you don't want to use. Unless you want to, you know, look like a fool when your research doesn't turn out the way it says. About is a better word to use. So 100.3 was going to be what? 30? I don't know why they're asking the same thing. And 45, why are they? It's kind of redundant. But that's what they're asking. Next, compute the linear correlation between the two variables. Okay, we've already done one of these. I'm going to move on to the next one. I think the first question we did was like that. What should a student do after something happens and they're out of class for a while? Communication. If you miss a question on the test and you believe it is correct, what should you do? Ask Hubert if you can meet with him after class. All right, here's a good question. Somebody look at the scatter plot and tell me what's the best answer. Come on, somebody knows the answer. Kind of simple. Come on. A. And which one? Do the two variables have a positive or a negative association?
B.
B as positive. Okay, I'm going to let y'all type that one in. Somebody tell me the answer. Somebody type it in, do a scatter plot, and let me know which one it looks like. Anybody?
B.
B is in Bravo.
Yeah.
Good job. Next. What is the probability of an event that is impossible? I don't like using that word. Suppose that I like to use very unlikely. Suppose a blah, 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 does that event mean it's impossible? What is the probability of an event that's very unlikely? 0.
0.
If a probability of 0, does that mean it's impossible? No. Impossible is a word I would never use in probability and statistics. I would never use the word perfect. I would never use the word exact. And it's the only one that equals 100. In probability, a blank is any process that the results are uncertain. What's the only one of these that if you do it, you have no idea what the outcome is? Anybody? Experiment. A blank of a probability experiment is the collection of all the possible outcomes. What is a collection of all possible outcomes? What's the only one we've talked about? Well, yeah, you talked about the Bernoulli space. You talked about that 2 or 3 times in class. You talked about prediction set 2 or 3 times in class. You talked about event set 2 or 3 times in class. So it's got to be one of those 3, right? Which one did I talk about in class?
C.
Sample space.
Sample space.
Sample space. Thank you. In your grade book, to find your final grade, you hit overall grade. Okay, here is a question that I don't know, why didn't I think they ought to put another paragraph in there? At least a couple more paragraphs. Good God. The overnight shipping business has skyrocketed in the last 10 years. The single greatest predictor of success company has proven time again to be customer service. Duh. A study was conducted to study the customer satisfaction levels for one overnight shipping business. In addition to the customer satisfaction level, the customers were asked how often they used overnight shipping. The results are shown in the table. What is the probability that a respondent did not have a medium level of satisfaction with the company? Not have a medium level. Not, these are median right here. So you could take this probability away from 1, and that would be not medium. So 220 over 700, so that's be 1 minus 220 over 700. So 1 minus the probability of medium would be, well, would be 220 over 700. And let's take our handy dandy calculator. And that's going to be 1 minus parentheses 220 divided by 700. I got 0.6857. 0.6857. So I guess that's going to be 0.69. Next, what is the probability that in 3 consecutive rolls of 2 fair dice, a person gets a total of 7, followed by a total of 11, followed by a total of 7? That's your sample space. Remember that die sample space I told you to put on a card? That's it. I'm not going to do it, but let me see if I can pull up y'all's sample space. Sample space. And there it is. Right there. So a 7, how many is 7? let's see, 7 is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Followed by an 11. So that's 6 out of 36. Plus 11 would be 2 out of 36. Back to 7, which would be 6 out of 36. So I guess you would add them because you're saying followed by, so that would be, it's either, let's see, you're getting a 7 and an 11 and a 7. So I would assume it would be multiplication. And then you multiply those and you get the answer. So that would be 6 out of 36. Let's see which one. 6 divided by 36. I'm going to put parentheses in mine. 6 divided by 36 times parentheses 2 divided by 36 times 6 divided by 36. 0.0015. Doink. Does Hubert replace your lowest grade? No way, no how. Below, compute the linear correlation. That's like the problem we did at the beginning of class. A golf ball is selected at random from a golf bag. If a golf bag contains 5 orange balls, 8 yellow balls, and 3 brown balls, find the probability of the golf ball is orange or yellow. So what does or mean?
Additive.
Good. So that'd be 5. Let's see, what is 5? 5 over 16 plus 8 over 16. 5 over 16 plus 8 over 16. .8125. 0.813. 0.813. In a certain lottery, we've already done this, but this one you have a $1 bet. So your answer is going to be 1 over. So I better do this one. So 38, 5 balls, 1 ticket. So that's going to be 1 divided by parentheses 38 math probability combination 5 balls close parentheses, and that's going to be, it says round to the nearest hundredth. So that's going to be 1.99 times 10 to the negative 6. 1.99 shift 8 10 to the negative 6. And yes, that's the shift 8. It's not an X. If you put X on the test, you're going to get it wrong. And since I've said it in class, I'm not going to correct it. If you don't listen to me in class, that's your fault. Part of communication thing that y'all don't want to do. A single die is rolled. That's the sample space. I'm not going to go through the sample space again, but here it is. It's right there. I'm going to let y'all do that. That's basically what all these numbers are. Find the probability of getting two numbers whose sum is greater than 10. Where is your sum greater than 10 on here? Well, right here is 10. Right here is more than 10, so it's 3 out of 36. 3 out of 36, which is what? 1 over 12. And that's the only one that makes any sense. Somebody will get that wrong. And this one says, what is the probability that an adult investor tracks his or her portfolio daily? Well, that'd be 235 out of 981. 235 over 981. Somebody do that in the calculator. Tell me what you get. I think it's going to be 0.24, but somebody help me out. 235 over 981.
It's 0.24.
And that's it. Excuse me. I made a 94.87. I think that's the ones I didn't do because we've done them like twice. Yeah. Any questions? Okay. All right, I've taken the roll. You have your test, you have your homework, you have like a couple of more days to do it, and I will see y'all Thursday. Okay?
Have a good day.
You too. You have a good one. Bye-bye.